Hello, I'm Tim Rogers. You are watching Kotaku.com. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate descends upon the game-liking public as we cower in terror. Nintendo does not publish Smash games every day. In the process of preparing this video, I've determined that they release a new Smash game an average of every 1,815 days. Each one is bigger and louder than the last. Each one features more characters than the last. Originally, Smash games featured only Nintendo characters. Now Nintendo has branched out and included characters by publishers like Sega, Namco, Capcom, and Konami. Super Smash Bros. Thus resembles a party you told your friends not to tell anybody else about. One of the only mathematically inevitable certainties in the video game industry is that, eventually, every video game character ever will occupy the Smash Bros. Universe. Smash is the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade of itself. And if you don't like it, you can GT heck O the planet for all I care. This year's Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade on November 22nd, 2018 saw the parade balloon debut of Goku, hero of the legendary manga and anime Dragon Ball. If we consider the debut of the manga Dragon Ball in Shonen Jump magazine on December 3rd, 1984 to be Goku's pop culture birthday, that means Goku waited 12,407 days before his Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade debut. That's almost 34 years. You know what they say, if you want to make the big time, you sometimes gotta wait a long time. So let's rank the 72 characters in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. One of Smash Bros. Ultimate's big selling points is that it includes every character from the series' entire history. In the interest of science, I decided to calculate the exact number of days between each character's birth and their debut in a Smash game, in search of an answer to the burning question: who among us waited the longest to Smash? As of this writing, a lot of us are counting down the minutes to Smash Bros. Ultimate's release, so I know it feels like the answer is us. Though come along and let's spectate this parade of heroes, villains, and weirdos. Will any of our characters be stronger than Goku, in so much as wait time for a debut in a cultural event of large importance is concerned? I don't want to spoil anything, though I think we might experience a couple surprises. Roy from Fire Emblem: The Binding Blade. He made his debut on March 22nd, 2002, which was after Smash Melee came out, which would have been his first Smash game. So he's the one outlier on our whole list, negative 121 days. And now we see the number 2 shortest time, that's number 66, longest time on our whole list, is 223 days, which is Corrin from Fire Emblem Fates. Remarkably, 2 Fire Emblem characters right here at the bottom of our list. That's somewhat interesting to look at. And I've got Greninja, which I believe he's a green ninja. We're going to see a pattern with Pokemon that were introduced like a year before, or less. He's in less than a year. He made his debut in a Smash game. Lucas from Mother 3. So this is one of the first games we're going to notice that Mother 3 came out on April 20th, 2006. I remember buying it on that day. And then in less than 2 years, this was a lot of Western gamers' first exposure to this character, Lucas, from this game that still has not been released. So we're going to see more games that came out on the 20th. Of April. So here's Pikachu. Pikachu as a baby is named Pichu. That's not true. This is his pre-evolved form because they decided to make a more cute Pikachu. And who really likes Pichu? Not me. And here's Incineroar, another Pokemon, also here very close to the bottom of the list at 749 days. We've already gone up to now, it's over 2 years. We've gone from negative 121 days to over 2 years within 5 entries on our list. And the reason our list started at 67 is that there's going to be a lot of ties, you're going to see. Now we have another Fire Emblem character. Interesting so far. Now this game came out on 4/19/2012, Fire Emblem Awakening. So that's another game. Nintendo tends to release games during that particular week of April. I've noticed as a pattern. It makes me kind of want to do another video about that. And here's Lucina. This is number 60, so they're tied here, because they were both in Fire Emblem Awakening and they both debuted in Smash for Wii U. I mean, Fire Emblem characters are everybody's favorite, right? That's kind of a joke. Dark Pit, not to be confused with Dirk Pitt, the hero of fiction author Clive Cussler's novels that you can buy in every airport, once played by Matthew McConaughey in the film Sahara. Ike, another Fire Emblem character from Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, made his debut there. I checked. I'm going to admit, I don't know everything about Fire Emblem. Love those games every time I play them. I don't know who every character is and what game they're from, though. He did debut in Path of Radiance, and then was on Brawl 3 years later. Now, Pikachu, interestingly, we're getting into some weird math here. Pikachu was in the very first Smash game, Smash 64, which was 1,059 days after his debut in Pokemon Red and Green, about 3 years earlier. So, the shortest ones aren't at the bottom of the list, is all I'm trying to say. And Jigglypuff, also, this is a tie, number 57. Jigglypuff was also in Pokemon Red and Green. Now I'm saying Red and Green and not Red and Blue because I'm using the Japanese release dates. This game having been developed in Japan, and Jigglypuff was in Smash 64. So 1,059 days. Now we have a three-way tie here, and these are all Zelda Ocarina of Time characters. So Ganondorf, I'm calling Ganondorf a Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time character because prior to that he was just Ganon. He was a big pig man named Ganon. And this is very clearly the Ocarina of Time Ganon. And then here's Sheik, or Shake, depending on how you want to pronounce it. It's Zelda, dressed up in some cool bandages. If you haven't played Ocarina of Time, I normally respect spoilers a lot, though it has been 20 years. I believe the statute of limitations is completely up. 1,096 days until her debut. Now, young Link, one could argue Link is young in the original Legend of Zelda, though this young Link was only ever called Young Link as of Ocarina of Time, November 21st, 1998. That's the end of our three-way tie. Now, this is the Inkling from Splatoon. You'll notice that the Inkling from Splatoon sure did debut pretty quick when it came to Smash games. That's actually not true. Debuted, it took longer than Young Link, which is wild. Now, Zero Suit Samus, this is remarkable to me. We have many Samuses on this list, and Zero Suit Samus debuted in Metroid Zero Mission, and then didn't show up until Smash Bros. Brawl, which was 1,452 days later. That's about 4 years. Now there's more Samuses in here. Now Donkey Kong, I'm going to go ahead and say Donkey Kong right here. This is Donkey Kong from Donkey Kong Country. We know that Cranky Kong is Donkey Kong's grandfather. He's supposedly the original Donkey Kong. Who knows how old Mario is? So I'm calling him a Donkey Kong from Donkey Kong Country. Now here's the Incredible Shulk, as we call him. The wielder of the Monado from the game Xenoblade. Now I call it Xenoblade, not Xenoblade Chronicles, because we're going by the Japanese release. And he was out on the Wii U just 4 years after his debut. Now, Ness interestingly debuted in the very first Smash game in 1999, which would lead one to believe that the Mother series is a game that's capable of making superstars. He was one of the few chosen to be in Smash 64. Toon Link was originally debuted in The Legend of Zelda 4 Swords, which was a side game on the Zelda Link to the Past Game Boy Advance version. So we're not considering him a character from Wind Waker, and he was in Brawl just about 6 years later. Well, 5 years and a couple of days. Now Mewtwo's from Pokemon Red and Green, first debut in Smash Melee. I don't really know what this guy's supposed to be. He's just some psychic dude who wants to free all the Pokemons. He's like a Pokemon's Pokemon. Good for him, right? Now Fox McCloud. So, I remember when Smash came out on the 64 and I was playing this with my little brother. My little brother only ever wanted to be Fox McCloud. Reason being, guy had a goddamn gun. And he's in space. Here we see in Smash Ultimate, you got the dinosaur planet people. Now here's Isabelle. Isabelle, surprisingly, one would assume it had taken literally forever, though it was 2,220 days, which is a cute little number, just like her. Debuted in Animal Crossing New Leaf in 2012, though it just felt like we'd known her all our lives, and we will know her for the rest of our lives. Speaking of someone we'll know for the rest of our lives, Bayonetta, you know what? I like her. 2,288 days, just a little bit, 68 days longer than Isabelle. This is a close margin. Isabelle and Bayonetta, they both have fantastic hair, and I think they should be friends. Olimar, interestingly, one thing I know about this guy, his name in Japanese, Orima, is just a mix-up of the letters in the name Mario. Probably everybody knows that. Sorry if you already knew that. So he's actually tied with Bayonetta, so they should get married. Now here's Chrom from Fire Emblem Awakening. He's debuting in Smash Bros. Ultimate. 2,423 days. I mean, look at this guy. It's another Fire Emblem character. They should just call it Fire Emblem Fighters, right? I mean, everybody loves those guys, right? Oh, here's Kirby, 2,460 days. Kirby had been around a pretty long time before Smash 64 came out. Therefore, one could say he'd earned his time. He'd earned his position among the elite in Smash 64. Now, meanwhile, Wii Fit Trainer had more than earned her position here in Smash for Wii U, which fans call Smash 4. Now, you can also be the male Wii Fit Trainer, though I like to think of the female Wii Fit Trainer as the real one. Rosalina and Luma, two other characters from the Nintendo Wii era of games. She's got a little rabbit ears, Super Mario Land 2 rabbit ears. You know what? I don't like her. She may be this almighty princess who owns the entire universe, though she's not my favorite princess. Now we got these Mii Fighters. Now what game are the Mii Fighters from? Well, they're from Smash for Wii U. I mean, they debuted as fighting game characters in that game. Though I'm calling them characters that debuted from the Nintendo Wii console itself. So that's why they're in this position. Now Yoshi from Super Mario World. Took Yoshi, he took a roundabout way to get there. 2,983 days between Super Mario World and Smash 64. Look at this little guy. Now Captain Falcon, also in Smash 64. I found it interesting at the time that Smash 64 came out that Captain Falcon was in there because, I mean, F-Zero wasn't a game super famous for its characters at that time, and the game just made Captain Falcon into a legit character. Now here's Meta Knight. You know what? I think Kirby's cool, though I think you put some sort of armor mask and a sword in the hand of something which is similarly shaped and it becomes kinda, I'm not feeling him, I'm sorry. Falco Lombardi. I don't know why Falco wasn't right there alongside Star Fox in the first game, probably because they had very few fighters. But look at this guy. Why would you pick Fox when you can pick him? Well, there's plenty of reasons. Wolf O'Donnell, also debuting very close, right next to his buddy Falco, in a wonderful coincidence that only this kind of mathematics can conjure. Love this guy. I loved fighting him in Smash 64. I'll admit, when I never played as him in Brawl. Dr. Mario. He's got the cure, and the cure is kicking your butt. 4,135 days between Dr. Mario and Smash Melee. Dr. Mario, a separate character from Mario? Why the heck not? Oh, and here's Dr. Marthio, who's the doctor of cutting you with a sword. That's Shadow Dragon and the Blade of Light. That's the very first Fire Emblem game. I've actually played that one. So Pokemon Trainer actually comes with 3 different characters, so it's considered 4 characters. I don't know why. I looked at a Smash Bros. Wiki on the internet and got some of this data from there. It's considered 4 characters. Bowser Jr., a little bit different from Bowser. If you can spot the difference, he's a lot smaller. Debuted in Super Mario Sunshine, where he played the role of an impetuous creature of some sort, causing wanton violence, just disrupting the peace. Now Samus, or if you're a French literature fan, Samu, it's a shout out to my friend Alex Jaffe for coming up with that. Samus debuted in Smash 64 with one of the longest gaps between first game and appearance in Smash. Samus had more than earned her position. And now Link, interestingly, comes right up next. Link debuted in Legend of Zelda, also in 1986, and also was one of the characters in Smash 64. Nintendo established a whole lot of their marquee franchises in 1986, so the middle part of this list is going to be filled with them, and also with Diddy Kong. Not exactly a marquee character for Nintendo. He's like Donkey Kong, except the different species. A little bit stupider, wilder, and can do cartwheels instead of somersaults. And he debuted in Smash Brawl with a banana gun. Now we got the Villager in Smash for Wii U. Am I the only one who thinks this guy looks stone cold? Like, he doesn't care? You know, like he's murdering you and he's just like, what? You know, he just doesn't care. Now we got Wario. Big man. He's the Mario of war. So, I remember seeing him first in Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins, and I remember not liking his character. However, over time, I came to respect him as I became an adult with my own savings account. And we got Zelda. So, Zelda debuted as a character in 1986. This is clearly Ocarina of Time Zelda. However, she can also be Skyward Sword Zelda and Breath of the Wild Zelda. So she's the idea of Zelda. So we're calling her a character from Zelda 1. Now, King Dedede, which I believe is pronounced Dedede in the game Smash, and in Japanese it would be Dedede, is from Kirby's Dream Land. First appeared in Brawl. He was one of those characters. He's just like, okay, guy. Now, Luigi was in Smash 64. One wonders now, given the way modern events have played out, why was Luigi in 64? Look at him kick his brother off the ledge there. Why was he in 64? Why didn't they just leave him until Brawl and call it a Year of Luigi thing? Now, Dark Samus. Dark Samus appears as a cameo in the original Metroid Prime, and as a character in the game Smash Ultimate, which is the newest one. So that gives her an impressive wait time of 5,864 days. I gotta admit, Dark Samus is pretty cool. Peach debuts in Super Mario Bros. Now, she looks indistinguishable in Super Mario Bros. Between now and between like what she looks like now. Though, we're gonna go ahead and say that was her debut game. And you know what? She kicks butt, and I think she has her motorcycle outfit, so. And then Bowser, this is another tie. They both debuted in Melee, and they both have a heritage all the way back to Super Mario Bros. 1985. 5,913 days. That is a long time, my friends. Ice Climbers, I'm not gonna lie, I don't trust these guys. There's 2 of them. That's weird, right? Am I the only one who thinks that's weird? The game's pretty decent, though. I remember playing that one. They appeared in Melee. Sonic the Hedgehog, whose appearance at the end of the story mode of Smash Bros. For Wii made me laugh harder than anything video game related. The characters are all about to die. They're on the brink of death, and Sonic shows up to save them. I love it. 6,209 days. Nice. And then right next door to Mario. Mario had to wait slightly longer than Sonic to appear in a Smash game. And sure, it was the very first Smash game. Though if we count Donkey Kong as his first game, Mario literally had to wait longer than Sonic, and I love that. But Cloud had to wait longer than both of them. Now, Cloud appeared as a Smash for Wii U or Smash 4 DLC in December of 2015. And yeah, I got that DLC. That's 6,892 days. Now, Snake in Smash Bros. Brawl. I'm going to admit, I played as Snake a lot in Smash Bros. Brawl. I didn't play Smash Bros. Brawl a whole lot. I guess nobody really did they? Love His Box. Debuted in Metal Gear 1987. Interestingly, the first game I ever rented. Another one of the first games I ever rented, Kid Icarus, came out in 1986. You know, it took a long time for anybody in my neighborhood to know his name was Pit. We all just thought of him as Kid Icarus. And he debuted in Brawl. I'm sure Sakurai wanted him all along. Now I have to talk about Mr. Game & Watch. So, one thing that makes Smash Bros. Great is its blazing fast 60 FPS frame rate. So, when you pick Mr. Game & Watch, you're just telling your friends that you don't want to have a good time and you want them to just think it's dumb. Sure, it's Nintendo's history, though, much like Rob, right next to Mr. Game & Watch. Rob and Mr. Game & Watch, both examples of Nintendo making physical products, toys, plastic things you can hold in your hand. So, I mean, here he is in Smash Bros. Brawl. King K. Rool debuted in Donkey Kong Country 1994 and is first appearing in Smash Ultimate. That's 8,782 days. I saw the character designer of this character on Twitter being so surprised and delighted that his character was appearing in Smash all these years later. How many more tweets like that shall we see in the future? Who knows? Richter Belmont, Dracula X, Rondo of Blood, 1993. My favorite action game of all time, my favorite Castlevania game. I'm going to play as him. That nonsense with the whip, he doesn't actually do that outside of Symphony of the Night. So it's not canon. I'm going to play as him. This is the character I'm going to play as. I don't care. Now we got Mega Man. He's like a man made by Sega. That's a joke about the Mega Drive. He first appeared in the game Rockman on December 17th, 1987, and then appeared in Smash Wii U just a lot of years later, 27 years later. You get all the Mega Mans. The whole family's here. Now I got Little Mac. This Little Mac, interestingly, the fourth regular Nintendo game I ever rented was Punch-Out. I don't count the arcade version as having Little Mac. Little Mac beat up Mike Tyson. Oh, here he is running after Wario. That's hilarious. He beat Mike Tyson. That's great. Now, Palutena, the character we all called the lady in Kid Icarus. We didn't actually know who she was because nobody could beat that goddamn game when that game came out. So, yeah, there's your nostalgia. Now we got Ryu from Street Fighter 1. First of all, you've got to love it. You got to love that they put a fighting game character into their fighting game. Ryu is here, and that's just beautiful. Now, we're up at number 7 here, we're getting into the top 10. Princess Daisy from Super Mario Land. Waited 10,822 days. Now, she's an Echo fighter for Princess Peach, so she's not 100% in there. Though, if you ask me, she's 100% in here. Now, there's Duck Hunt. First of all, that's the name of the game, not the name of any characters. So, that's a little weird. You got Hogan's Alley popping up in there. 11,102 days. That's a long time. And now Ken somehow squeaks in past his buddy Ryu. He waited a little bit longer, I guess because Ryu was in the last one, and Ken's now an Echo Fighter for him in Smash Ultimate. And you know what? You deserve to be here, buddy. I love Ken. He's got that flaming Shoryuken. Simon Belmont beats his buddy Richter. Richter is an Echo Fighter for Simon Belmont. Simon Belmont debuted in Castlevania in 1986, whereas Richter debuted in 1993, and he's another new character for Ultimate. So that's 11,760 days. So we're about to get into the top 3, and I think you might find this kind of interesting. Or, I mean, maybe you won't. Ridley, who fans screamed for years, first as a joke, and then eventually the joke became more real than anything. Ridley debuted in the original Metroid, which is a way of saying that one kid in out of every 100,000 saw Ridley. That was a very hard game. Now, number 2 is Piranha Plant. This character they just debuted the other day. They just introduced him. Now, we don't know when he's coming out. Probably by the end of February, so you'll see. I've put that in a question mark down there. Though even if he comes out the day the game comes out, he would still have earned number 2 on this list. Very puzzling. But number one is Pac-Man. The original video game character. That's not true. He's not the first video game character, though he's the oldest video game character on this list, and at the same time, the one who waited the longest, even though he came out in the Wii U version. So in other words, based on the established metric of how long did they wait to debut in an event of major cultural importance, we can see that Pac-Man is clearly stronger than Goku. Let's quickly address the loose end of Piranha Plant. The DLC character, his debut date is still unknown, though he would have to come out after January 5th, 2020 in order to dethrone Pac-Man. My estimate is that that is not going to happen. Nintendo has touted 5 new DLC fighters for 2019 as part of their Fighter Pass DLC. If DLC is spaced out evenly throughout 2019, that means we'll see a new DLC fighter every 73 days. This information is, of course, speculative, though if we follow this rule to the letter for the sake of argument, we'd be seeing Piranha Plant on March 14th of 2019. At the outset of this video, I stated my hypothesis that eventually Smash will contain every video game character in history. Therefore, Waluigi's appearance constitutes a scientific inevitability. Using the calculations I've conducted, I've outlined several scenarios predicting the timing of this monumental occurrence. First, let us speculate. On the one hand, it's difficult to see Nintendo's inclusion of Ridley as anything other than a response to the persistent internet meme wherein players shrieked about needing Ridley in Smash. On the other hand, Nintendo Nintendo refused to comment on equally huge internet phenomena such as Bowsette. Just when you think Nintendo has become perfectly internet savvy, you remember their blunders. Series director Masahiro Sakurai stated on Twitter that all 5 DLC characters have already been decided. It's highly possible Waluigi is not one of these 5 characters, so we need to prepare for the worst. Waluigi has already waited a brain-blasting 6,713 agonizing days since his debut in Mario Tennis on the Nintendo 64. That puts him a whole 2,178 days over the average wait time of 4,534.987179 days. That's 48% above the average. It seems like he's due for a smash already. Or is he? If the worst does happen and Waluigi is not one of the 5 DLC pass fighters, it's certainly plausible that he's waited long enough to appear in the next Smash, right? Well, by averaging the number of days between every major Smash release, I excluded the 3DS one, by the way, I determined that the next Smash after Smash Bros. Ultimate might release 1,815 days after December 7th, 2018. That pushes Waluigi's possible debut back to November 26th, 2023. Or does it? No, we're not done. I averaged the wait times of all the characters in Waluigi's weight class, by which I mean characters who have waited at least as long as Waluigi. The average is 9,869.833 days. We'll just say 9,870 days. 9,870 days after Waluigi's birthday would put his potential Smash debut at July 27th, 2027. 7/27/2027 is a gorgeous number. It is, however, unfortunately after our projected release date of Smash 6, November 26th, 2023. If we apply our calculation of 1,815 days between releases, that puts the release of Smash 7 at November 14th, 2028. As my dad said to my mom on my birthday, now let's consider the worst case scenario. Assuming the genuine possibility that Nintendo is not listening to their fans, if Waluigi has to wait longer than Pac-Man, when would he debut in Smash? Pac-Man had to wait 12,532 days. If Waluigi had to wait that exact number of days, his earliest possible entrance into the Smash series would be November 12th, 2034. This is almost exactly 6 years after our projected release date of Smash 7. 5 years and 363 days. Applying our value of 1,815 days between Smash releases, we see that Smash 8 could release on November 3rd, 2033. That's more than a year too soon. Assuming Waluigi gets passed over for DLC once again because Nintendo continue to ignore us, our final mathematical calculation reveals this cold, sad lottery ticket of the truth. In the worst of all possible worlds, which this one very well may be, Waluigi may not debut until Smash 9 on October 23rd, 2038. Of course, Nintendo might adopt the new DLC strategy long before then. That doesn't stop math from being fun. See? Look at how much fun I was able to have just with numbers. I don't even need a pre-release copy of Smash Bros. Ultimate, Nintendo. I'm gonna buy it myself. As my math teacher told me a long time ago, I was born stupid. However, I will not die hungry. Video games forever, Kotaku.com.
More fighters, more battles, more fun. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, only on Nintendo Switch.